From the Oval Office, Biden applauds the averted debt ceiling catastrophe. In his first speech from the Oval Office of the White House, U.S. President Joe Biden hailed the approval of a bill to suspend the country's debt ceiling as averting an impending financial disaster. Biden used the occasion to implore Americans to mend their differences, claiming that his deal with leading Congress Republican Kevin McCarthy demonstrated what was possible. He urged Americans to stop shouting, lower the temperature, and work together to pursue progress, saying that no matter how tough our politics gets, we need to see each other not as adversaries but as fellow Americans. Democratic Vice President Joe Biden announced he would sign the legislation into law on Saturday, ending month of ambiguity and preventing the first-ever U.S. default as early as June 5. It was crucial to come to a compromise, and the American people should be quite happy with this. Nobody was able to fulfill their dreams. However, the American people received what they required, Biden stated as he sat at the illustrious Resolute desk in the White House. He declared, "We avoided an economic crisis, an economic collapse." The Senate and the House of Representatives both approved a bill this week that suspends the government's $31.4 trillion debt cap after tense discussions. According to Biden, maintaining the nation's full confidence and credit was essential to preserving economic development in the United States. Biden declared that the stakes could not have been higher. The president, who is seeking re-election, praised McCarthy, Speaker of the House of Representatives, who served as his main negotiator, and mentioned other bipartisan laws he had signed. McCarthy, a supporter of the previous president Donald Trump, was one of 147 Republicans who attempted to have the 2020 election result overturned but were unsuccessful. Biden stated, "We were able to get along and get things done. Both sides conducted themselves honestly." Republicans resisted raising the debt ceiling for months, and in exchange demanded that Biden and Democrats reduce spending in the 2024 budget. Before negotiating, the White House demanded a clear debt ceiling agreement. In the end, Biden and McCarthy put together a hurried agreement that suspends the debt ceiling until January 2025 and sets spending limits. The law was approved by the Democrat-controlled Senate by a vote of 63 to 36 and the Republican-controlled House by a vote of 314 to 117. According to Biden, the final vote in both chambers was overwhelming. Fitch Ratings announced on Friday that despite the arrangement that will allow the government to fulfill its obligations, the United States AAA credit rating would remain on negative watch. Office address in Oval. Presidents of the United States often reserve a speech from the Oval Office for the most important and dramatic of occasions, such as the Challenger space shuttle explosion or the attacks of September 11, 2001. According to the White House, Biden made his statements there due to the seriousness of the situation if the debt ceiling had not been lifted. After the Challenger space shuttle exploded in 1986, former President Ronald Reagan addressed the nation from the Oval Office. Similarly, former President George W. Bush utilized the location to address the nation following the September 11 attacks. Following the 2010 BP oil spill on the Gulf Coast, the former President Barack Obama spoke from the Oval Office. Prior to taking office in January 2021, Biden delivered speeches from the Capitol during the State of the Union and the East Room of the White House during the COVID-19 epidemic. But as Biden runs for re-election against a burgeoning field of Republican contenders, the Friday night speech will be his first from the Oval Office, a location that emphasizes the strength and authority of the presidency.